Hey everyone, we recently went on a Caribbean cruise on Celebrity Beyond, and here's a sneak peek into everything we did on the cruise, the beautiful ports we visited, the unique experiences, and much more. Hope you enjoy watching this video. Here are some of the things I packed. For footwear, packed a pair of Crocs, warm slippers, and formal shoes for formal dining. Carried some hoodies just in case it gets cold. Cruise ships have a gym, so pack some gym wear. Also carried multiple swimwear for pools and jacuzzis on the ship as well as beaches on the port. I had a good pair of water shoes which came super handy. Also packed lots of casual clothes, couple of formal wear and other travel essentials. We were a group of 12 traveling together, so we had plenty of company. We started our journey from Calgary on a Friday night and reached the beautiful city of Miami on a Saturday afternoon. As we had traveled through the night, we decided to catch some rest at the hotel before we boarded the ship the next day. These are some videos I took at the hotel at Miami. The following morning, we had our breakfast and took the shuttle to Miami port to board the ship. At the port, we completed our embarkation and screening formalities fairly quickly as there were only two ships sailing that day. We checked in our bags and by noon we boarded the ship. Once on the ship, we headed straight to Deck 15 to enjoy the spectacular view of Miami port. It was a beautiful sunny day and passengers were boarding the ship in batches. After soaking in the sun and the beautiful views for some time, we headed to Deck 14 for a welcome lunch. After lunch, we headed to Deck 6 to take a peek at our cabins. This was my second cruise, but the first for my daughters, so they were very eager to see the rooms. Baggages are usually delivered to the cabin within a couple of hours of boarding the ship. Cabins on the ship are quite compact but very clean and comfortable. I was sharing this room with my daughters, and we had a double bed, a single couch, and a small balcony. The room also had a TV, dressing table with drawers, and closets. When on the cruise, you spend very little time in the cabin, so this cabin was more than enough for us. And here are my daughters. After the room tour, we headed back to Deck 15. Here is another ship that was ready to set sail, so we waved goodbye to all its passengers and wished them a safe journey as we watched them sail away. Cruise ships are huge and they can accommodate anywhere between 3,000 to 10,000 passengers. Our ship had an occupancy of 3,000 passengers. Finally, around 5 p.m., it was time for our ship to set sail as well. We bid Miami goodbye and watched the ship slowly pull away from the port. And here began our adventure. We returned to our cabins to unpack and freshen up. We had an early dinner, explored the ship for a bit, and throughout the day and late into the night, there are several activities happening on the ship. That evening, we attended a comedy show in the theaters and proceeded to see a musical performance by the cruise crew. While we slept that night, the ship was heading towards Bahamas and was scheduled to dock early morning the next day. On day 2, we docked at the perfect day at Cocoque Island in the Bahamas at 7 a.m. This is a private island accessed only by the Royal Caribbean cruise ships. The ship stayed at port till 5 p.m., so there was no hurry to leave the ship right away. However, I got off to take some photos before the place got flooded with folks in their swimsuits. You will see plenty of iguanas in the Caribbean. The port also had a water park with the tallest water slide in North America. There is plenty to do on the island, and you can either have a relaxing time by the beaches or try some adventures like ziplining, snorkeling, offshore excursions, hot air balloon rides, or enjoy the water park. There were several snack shacks throughout the island serving complimentary food and drinks. This island had 7 beautiful beaches fully accessible by walk. We spent most of our time on the Chill Island beach and the water park. Tramps run continuously throughout the island, taking folks from one beach to the other. That afternoon, we had a shore excursion, so we were taken by boat to another island where we would swim with the stingrays and island pigs. I was very excited to see the stingrays. Most of them were huge, but there were a few baby ones too. My daughter fell in love with this beautiful starfish. Shortly after, we went to swim with the pigs. It was indeed a very unique experience. The pigs were very friendly and they allowed people to hold their bellies while they swam around the beach. We spent about 1 or 2 hours there and then headed back to the ship. That evening, we had made dinner reservations for Le Petit Chef experience. It is a unique interactive dining experience. There is a 3D projection overhead every guest, and you will see fun driven animations of a little chef cooking meals on your plate. Shortly after, the dish is served in real life, which matches the animations. This was a 4 course meal and it was a fun experience. Le Petit Chef Dining is available around the world, so do give it a try if you have the opportunity to do so. Day 3 was sail day, which means we were on sea the whole day. We were heading towards Puerto Rico, so this was a perfect time to explore the ship. We slept in that day, had a lazy morning, and after lunch, my friend and I went to explore decks 3 and 4, which had most of the restaurants and shopping areas. From clothes and souvenirs to expensive handbags, jewelry, watches, perfumes, artwork, sculptures, the ship had it all. This ship had very captivating interior decor, and it was amazing to look around and enjoy everything. On the ship, there were 15 restaurants and 5 cafes, not including the bars and the lounges. We were told this beautiful peacock had 28,000 Swarovski crystals embedded on it. It was really beautiful. By now, we had spent a couple of hours touring the ship, which made us super hungry. So we headed to the 14th deck to the pizza counter, where Mohammed made pizzas for us with our preferred toppings. On day 4, we were to arrive at Puerto Rico around 1 p.m. That morning, few of us woke up early to watch the sunrise. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed a sunrise. It was a beautiful morning that day, and the sun rose around 6:30 a.m. and the sky was splashed with hues of yellow and orange color. I have since become intentional to watch the morning sky when I leave for work at 6:30 a.m. every day. Here's a glimpse of the breakfast stations in the main dining area. There are plenty of food stations to suit everyone's palate, from customized omelette stations, coffee stations, and an array of food options. You can never go hungry on a cruise. San Juan is the capital city of Puerto Rico, and we docked at port around 1 p.m. The city is lined by a wall built in the 16th and 17th century, which historically protected the port and city from invaders and pirates. At this port, you will see the new and modern side of San Juan and also the old San Juan. We took a tour bus to see this beautiful city. In Old San Juan, there are 400 plus restored buildings, all dating back to the 16th and 17th centuries. One of the best things to do here is to just walk around and soak in the panoramic view of this beautiful city. Once we got off the tour bus, we walked down the alleys stacked with local shops selling souvenirs and artwork. The old San Juan is lined with cobblestone streets, colonial churches, Spanish architecture, and historic buildings. It is amazing how Puerto Rico has been able to preserve a lot of its history, culture, and architecture. The Poet's Passage was one of my children's favorite store. The store was owned by a couple, the husband being an artist and the wife a poet, and they sold their artwork here. That day the ship sail time was 7:30 p.m., so we headed back to the ship around 6 o'clock. Every time you return to the ship, you have to go through security screening similar to that of an airport. We freshened up and went to the 15th deck to see the ship sail away and bid farewell to beautiful San Juan City. Though we left Puerto Rico that evening, we carried pieces of Puerto Rico back home to cherish the good memories of visiting this beautiful city. That evening after dinner, we went to the theatre to watch some musical performances by the celebrity production crew. The team works tirelessly to put on these shows and keep everyone entertained. The artists are very talented and skillful, and their shows are truly mesmerizing. At 9 a.m. on day 5, we docked at Phillipsburg in St. Martin. The island of St. Martin has a very interesting history. In the 17th century, the Dutch and the French soldiers decided to share this little island, and till today it remains happily split between France and the Netherlands. We docked at Phillipsburg, which is the capital on the Dutch side of the island. It is known for its duty-free shopping district, and we did find things a little cheaper here compared to other Caribbean ports. We took a water taxi from the terminal to downtown Phillipsburg. Downtown was filled with shops, restaurants, and cafes. We did some shopping here and looked around for souvenirs. Taxis here are unmetered, so always agree on the price before taking a ride. We managed to get a local tour guide and got into his minivan to explore both sides of the city. Larry, our tour guide, was very good. He took us to spots at an elevated height so that we could get a good aerial view of the beautiful island. There were plenty of iguanas on this island, and they did not seem to be bothered by the visitors. The hilly terrain covered with local houses, resorts, and commercial areas clustered in the valley, and beaches in the background was breathtaking. We spent some time to enjoy the panoramic view of the city and then took a lot of photos before we headed back. Now we are headed towards Maho Beach. One end of the Maho Beach is called the Airport Beach because of its close proximity to the airport, giving close up views of planes landing and taking off overhead. These are all the resorts that we saw on the way to the beach. We were just in time to see an American airline flight land. However, there was a bus right behind us, and we unfortunately could not capture it landing on the runway. This beach was extremely crowded. Larry then took us to the other side of Maho Beach, which was less crowded. The turquoise or teal color of the seas, the white sandy beaches, are unimaginably beautiful on this beach. We dipped our feet in the water while the children went for a swim. We spent about 30 minutes here and noticed that there were dark clouds forming in the background. True enough, it started raining in a bit and started getting very windy. Very soon it was pouring and we all had to get out of the water. We got caught in a downpour as we headed to the van. A storm seemed to be brewing, so we decided to go directly to the ship. We did not get a chance to go up to the deck to see the ship leaving the port, but we did have some beautiful souvenirs to cherish and bring back with us. That night we went to the theaters to watch Alan C. perform as a mind hacker. It was a very interesting mentalist show. After that, we headed to watch another musical by the production crew. Day 6 and 7 were sail days, and we are now on our way back to Miami. Few of us woke up early once more to watch another beautiful sunrise. Then we headed for a walk on deck 15 while the sun was still rising in the background. Day 6 was the coolest day ever, which means there were a lot of activities around the pool that morning. There were pool games, water exercises, and a member of the crew teaching folks Caribbean dance moves. We spent some time relaxing in the pool as well, and then headed to play some table tennis and laze around the decks. Here are some photos of the food. One thing you will miss when you leave the ship is the food. The variety, the flavors, arrangements, everything looks so beautiful and tasty. That evening, we went to see a performance by Tommy Green Jr., a singer from Halifax, Canada. And then, of course, we watched another amazing performance by the production crew. Everything you see in this video is just 10% of what you would actually see on a ship. This video is meant just to give you glimpses of what it is like to be on a cruise in case you are interested to travel on one. Early morning on day 8, before Miami woke up, we reached Miami port around 5 a.m. This is how beautiful Miami looked that day. I took one last walk on deck 15 before heading to deck 14 for breakfast at 6:30 a.m. The crew had cleaned up the ship immaculately. In few hours we will be out of the ship, but by noon the next batch of passengers will come in, all excited for their cruise, clueless that we had just left the ship. Jamie was one of the friendly crew members. By 8:30 a.m. that day, we boarded the shuttle to Miami Airport. It was a long flight home and we reached Calgary only past midnight. Like all vacations, this vacation also must come to an end. But the memories of the good times, the fun experiences, the wonderful crew, the beautiful ports, and the little souvenirs we purchased will be cherished in our hearts forever. Let's be simply intentional to take small breaks and create memories that last forever. That's all in this video. See you in the next. Bye.